Hey, my friend, are you a small business owner that loves God, family, country, and capitalism? If so, you're in the right place. This is a War Plan Briefing. I'm going to quickly give you actionable things you can do to make more money, to go faster, to improve your family tree and your business and the profits and all of the warm, fuzzy things that a good business can provide you. Let's dive into it. Today, we're going to talk about 5 mental mistakes, okay? Mental mistakes that are stopping you, or at least lots of people, from being rich. Look, is the purpose of life to be rich? No. Like, it might seem like some of these videos I make are all about money, money, money. Here's the thing. People think that what they want is money, right? And I do believe that God created everything to expand and grow, right? He created things to do what they're supposed to do. And if you are made in the image of God, you're designed to be a creator. You're supposed to produce value. You're supposed to produce fruit. So you can use the word rich and kind of bend it around whatever way that you want. But here's the deal. Are you maxing out your potential? If you go to the Bible and read the parable of the talents, are you actually multiplying what was put in your hand to begin with? Your giftings and talents and your energy and effort. Are you doing it? You don't have to be perfect, but are you actually just scared to push harder? Are you scared so you pretend like, oh, well, I just don't want to be rich, and you have this false sense of piety? Because let me tell you something. God didn't design you to be poor. The whole point of your life isn't to be helpless. How can you help other people if you can't help yourself? Can I get an amen? So, okay, we got that over with. Let's talk about the 5 mental mistakes that people make. Number one, this is a big one, is they obsess over money. They actually obsess over money. A lot of poor people are way more obsessed with money than wealthy people. This is actually true. And if you're offended, I want to challenge you to push pause in your offense, put a pin in it. You can be mad in a minute. You can do a hate comment in a minute, but hold on for a second, okay? Poor people are obsessed with money because they don't understand how money works. Money is not a thing you should try to get. Money is a derivative of who you become, the value you provide. Like, money automatically happens to you by doing other things. But if you just try to get money, that's what a low-level thief does. That's what a pickpocket does. And this is why little businesses kind of are flash in the pan. They come, they get something going, and it disappears because they're so obsessed on the wrong thing. You got to understand that you need to obsess over your customers' results, not over the money that you make. You should measure your money. You should understand the economics of your business. But if your real core driving force is to get $1, okay, gimme, then you're behaving and building your company like a hunter instead of a farmer. You're like trying to kill the gazelle so you can eat the meat, and you might not have another meal for 4 weeks, right? Rather, you need to look at yourself as like a tomato farmer and a relationship nurturer. You need to be a results provider. You should be selling a quantifiable, valuable end result to your customer for a profit. And when your results work and you obsess over your customer, money starts to happen. It starts to come in buckets full back to you. There's certain companies, I can't remember honestly if it was LuLaRoe or Lululemon. One of these companies had an 86-page avatar document for their perfect customer. And it had the most crazy things because this is an apparel company that makes clothes. But in this avatar document, they had the name for the female version, a name for the male version, what types of wine they would drink, what types of music they would listen to, what their tastes were at restaurants. It has nothing to do with clothes, right? Wrong. They are obsessing over their avatar. Their board would make corporate decisions on strategy and say, what would Sarah think about this? What would Sarah being the name of the avatar that doesn't exist? But that's how you build wealth. That's how you get money. You get money by serving other people. My friend Mike Dahlke calls dollars certificates of good deeds. If you don't have a lot of certificates of good deeds, you're not doing that many good deeds. Value creation is a gift to the world where people happily exchange the money in their pocket for the service and result that you are giving them. The money's going to come, my friend, but don't focus on the money, focus on the results that you get your customers. The second mental mistake that is prevalent, it's ubiquitous, it's everywhere, is pride. Pride, the original sin, how Lucifer fell, right? Pride, the big P word. People that are prideful don't think they're prideful. You ever notice that? You know, people that are dumb don't think they're dumb. You ever notice that? You know, so it's a risky thing to have because you're probably not going to be self-aware enough to realize you have it. Now, I think everybody can be like proud of an accomplishment they did. That's not the same thing as just a heart of pride. Arrogance, right? Arrogance. You know, success requires humility. Now, it does require massive amounts of confidence. You need to be able to walk with certainty, but you got to understand confidence is not the same thing as arrogance, but they look really similar to the untrained eye. And to the average small business owner who is broke and stuck and failing, you can sense and smell these people. You can smell their pride. They're not open to change. There's always an excuse. There's always an external reason why they're not succeeding, why something's failing. It could be the government. It could be the economy. It could be their local market is something's wrong with it. It could be their supplier. It could be their employees, but it's not them. It's not that they need to learn more stuff and level up. No, it can't be that because they're God's gift to everybody already. They have nothing to learn, right? If you are struggling with pride, stop it. You got to recognize that you are dooming yourself to a life of struggle and pain for no reason. Humility is beautiful. Humility will happen naturally to you if you don't abandon the pride anyway. The Bible famously says that pride comes before what? What is it? Hey, Will, what does pride come before? A what? A fall. He said a fall. You can't hear it. He's off camera. Pride comes before a fall. So give it up willingly and humble yourself. Sit at the feet of people that know stuff you don't know, okay? Put your thinking cap on. Shut your mouth, open your ears, and things will go well for you. And if you don't, bad things are coming. The third mistake mentally that people make that's preventing them from being rich is choosing comfort over growth. Choosing the comfort zone, the warm, fuzzy armchair with the blanket and the fireplace, firmly in your comfort zone. Look, I don't think you should do crazy stuff. You don't have to do crazy stuff. But if you're not repeatedly growing, expanding, stepping your toe into the outside the comfort zone and continuing to do that, you're just going to get stuck. Are the results you're getting today really similar to the results you were getting 3 years ago? If so, you're living firmly in the comfort zone. Now, I think some small business owners, what ends up happening, they get in this revenue range. I'll just talk about like a home service company, for example. The 400,000 to 600,000 range is a common revenue number where people get stuck for 15 years. They'll work and grind and they get up to this level, and then it's like the brakes get put on and they get stuck. My friend Mike calls it cash flow purgatory. And there's some like financial reasons on why that's a tricky spot to be with your business. But the real reason they get stuck is because they're comfortable enough. It's because they make just enough money. You can call it the golden handcuffs too, right? Your business, it's not necessarily killing it. You're not, crushing it, making bajillions of dollars, but you're doing pretty good. You can still go fishing on the weekends. You bought a new house, maybe you have a new truck, right? You probably have a $1,000 truck payment, but you can afford it for the first time ever. Good for you. But here's the thing, doing this, consuming and using up the extra money from your business for lifestyle too quick is a form of you seeking comfort, not growth. Now, for you, I don't know what your destiny is, what you want, and maybe you're happy, and if you are, high freaking five. But for a lot of you, or for whoever I'm looking into your eyeball right now, whoever you are, choosing comfort over growth will be a devastatingly bad decision, because when you are knocking on death's door, you're going to fantasize about what could have been had you delayed gratification a little bit. You're going to fantasize about who you could have been if you would have give yourself a chance. Don't let yourself get too comfortable. Don't let yourself get trapped by the golden handcuffs just because you're making enough to be okay. You need to reframe the expectations you have for yourself, because you can do more. And it's not that the goal is the endless pursuit of more, but the goal is the maximization of your potential, multiplying your talents. That's what I want for you. You're going to stay broke. You're going to stay broke if comfort is the primary thing that you're seeking. The fourth mistake I see people make when it comes to staying broke, or the reason why they're broke, is comparison, unnecessary comparison to other people. You sit and you flip through TikTok and you're watching Grant Cardone all day and you're like, why can't I be a billionaire, mom? Why can't I be like Gary Vee? Why can't I do this stuff? Or maybe it's not these internet idiots. Maybe it's someone in your hometown. Maybe it's someone who had a little head start from you, or it's someone that you know, an acquaintance or a leader in your industry. What a cataclysmic waste of time to compare yourself with anybody. The only person you should compare yourself to is yourself, because you're going to go slower. You're going to get worse results by constantly giving yourself negative vibes, comparing yourself to someone else, because their story is not your story. Their mission, mandate, purpose, and destiny is not yours. It's entirely different. And you're on your own timeline doing your own thing right now. I've been good friends with Myron Golden for about 6 years. And if you want to pause this, go on YouTube. If you don't know who he is, go watch all of his stuff. It's amazing. And I've known Myron a long time before he was internet famous. And I remember he told me something, because he was the same Myron then that he is now in all of his glory. He's just an incredible, unique, extraordinary human being. But I remember I met him and I said, Myron, I don't understand. Why aren't you everywhere? How are you not blowing up? Like, the content you have, the stuff that you teach is so mind-bendingly good. How are you not famous? Tony Robbins has all these people. You're better than him. Like, I don't understand. And you know what he told me? He said, oh, it'll happen. Oh, it'll happen, baby. That's my Myron voice. He goes, oh, it'll happen, babe. It'll happen when it happens. That's what he said. And for like 3 years, I didn't understand why he kept telling that to me. He probably said that to me 25 times. Because I'm like, Myron, how do we go faster? How do we do this? Let me help you. I'll build your funnel. We'll do that. Like, he's like, oh, it'll happen when it happens. Because you got to understand, Myron wasn't playing by anybody else's rules. He wasn't on some other fictitious timeline. Just because some guy you saw online did $1 million in a week has nothing to do with you, like, at all. You got to decide for you what your targets are. You have to decide for you what your goals and aspirations are. You have to decide what you're willing to suffer sacrifice for. What are you willing to suffer and sacrifice for? That's your decision. It's very personal. It's nothing to do with Myron or me or anybody else. So comparing yourself to other people's timelines, comparing yourself to other people's results, they're in different industries than you. They have different intellectual horsepower than you. They're different ages than you, with different life experience with you. They have a different talent stack than you. And so comparing yourself doesn't even make logical sense a little bit. It makes no sense. Compare yourself with yourself and you will go faster. And last but not least, the big problem for people that stay broke, the brain problem, is that they crave sedation. They crave to be sedated. And social media is a form of sedation. YouTube, TikTok, these are addictive apps. It's a form of sedation. You know, smoking weed, getting high, doing drugs, getting hammered at night. These are forms of sedation. Watching and obsessing with your fantasy football team, watching NFL games is a form of sedation. I'm not on my high horse telling you to not have a hobby. I'm not telling you can't have a beer. I don't care. You do what you want to do, but I can tell you I've identified a real problem that cripples people's ability to maximize their possibility, okay? And that is sedation. We want to escape. You know, America right now is in a weird spot. There's division everywhere, uncertainty everywhere, economic. People are like at each other's throats. It's weird. And so we have this fight, flight, or freeze response happening in our head. And small business owners have this. And what do we do? What do we do? I'll tell you what we do. We sedate ourselves. We pretend like it's not happening. And for obvious reasons, that's going to make it go slower. Can you pick up what I'm throwing down? Are you following me? You're not a bad, evil person if you struggled with this. You're just a human. It's biological chemistry. It's human to struggle with this, but it's important to recognize it. It's also important to label it. You don't have to shame yourself if you're struggling with it, but recognize it for what it is and label it for what it is, because it will help you. And if every night you're getting sedated and you're checking out mentally because of the overwhelm that you feel, you're sabotaging yourself. You think that you're escaping, but you're actually actively working against your own best interest without realizing it. Look, if you need to take a break, take a break. If you need to take a day off, take a day off. If you want to watch your football game, watch the football game, but be very careful to not pretend or believe the lie that all these bad things are happening to you instead of for you. And don't believe the lie that the circumstances around you as you're checked out and being sedated were unavoidable. No, they were avoidable. You've put yourself in a position by pursuing sedation, pornography, also sedation, by the way. You put yourself in a situation by pursuing sedation to let things fall apart and then have this weird excuse that it wasn't your fault. But that's not true. Now, after a message like that, you probably don't want to like and subscribe. Probably a little bit mad at me. Just calm down, okay? Can you subscribe still? Will you leave a comment still? I want to know what you're thinking as I say this, because this is the kind of stuff that can change people's whole direction of their life. If you get it, if you have the humility to hear what I'm saying, not because I'm saying anything genius. This stuff, like, I didn't invent this. I observed it. I didn't make it up. I watch it happen. Is it happening to you? If so, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you're struggling with, what you're stuck with, what you need to learn about, and I'll do my best to either find the answer or find someone that has the answer and bring it back to you on this YouTube channel. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.